Alright, no call. Got another card today. Look at those stamps. It's from Poland. From Polska. So, I save these stamps. And what I do is, so I just take a damp cloth, put them on, and it loosens the glue, and then I keep them. My daughter, back when I was collecting cards for her, I took a long box like this, and except for the bottom, I covered it completely in stamps. Both ends, both front, sides, and the top, completely covered with those stamps. And I've got enough to do 2 more boxes, so I can do one for myself. Alright, so let's see what we got. I know what I have. You don't know what I have. You're going to find out what I have. And then, to pad the video, to make more content, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. I know I want to cut this. I think I know how I want to cut it. I want to use my toy. I need to clean that. I got some stuff on it from cutting through tape. Don't worry, it's not stuff from cutting through people. I've never done that. Never had the opportunity. Not that I'm looking for it. But, you know, if it happens, it happens. Alright, so let's... Okay, now what? It's a booster pack. I shouldn't be this hard to open. Are you kidding me? Bloody hell. T-Volley. Oh, by the way, Max is here. Say hello, Max. That's our kitty. Our fluffy little shithead. Max the Chuchka Volley. Max the fluffy shithead. He's very interested in what I'm doing. Oh, I got, oh, yeah, a little reprieve. See? Look, Max, it's a magic card. Alright, so I forgot I ordered this. I knew I ordered 1 card. Actually, I think I ordered 3. So this is not the main card. This card will go into Frodo and Sam. Reprieve. 1 in a white. Instantly return spell to its owner's hand. So if somebody's casting something I can't deal with, I buy myself a turn, and I get to draw a card. There he is, my foil trash master. Like I was talking about in the video where I presented my flat non-foil trash master and put it into Aurelia, I didn't know this guy existed. I just missed it. I wasn't buying a whole lot of cards around M19. I was playing with him on Arena, and he's got that stupid A symbol for Arena, so I thought it was Arena only. And then I was thinking, there's no good goddamn reason why this can't be a paper card. None. So, a couple weeks ago, finally looked it up, and I thought this for at least 2 years, because of playing on Arena. But I just wasn't motivated to look at it, so I finally looked it up, and, oh wow, it is a real card, in paper. So I ordered a flat one, got it in from my LGS. Aurelia has it. Got this foil one. He wasn't really that much. What did I spend? €5? Cool. And then I got Exalted Angel. This is just for the art binder. This, she's been superseded by Painslayer's Angel. The only reason to play Exalted Angel these days is Morph. That's it. Other than that, I mean, she's 6 for a 4/5 flyer with lifelink. Baneslayer's Angel is a fucking 5/5 flying lifelink, first strike, protection demons, protection dragons for 5. So she's been obsoleted. So the only reason to run her is because you can drop her down on turn 3, sometimes turn 2, depending on how lucky you get with your mana base. as a 2/2 morph creature, and the next turn you can flip her over for 4. Of course, when she's a 2/2, she's kind of shaky, but she's still effective. It's just, she's one of those cards that has to go into the right deck. How the hell? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's just, they're tight. I don't know where this sleeve came from. It's kind of damaged, so he's going to get a fresh, perfect fit. Because he's perfectly trashalicious. Alright. So this guy's going into Kaervek. Could have put the fly one into Aurelia, flat one into Kaervek, but I decided to change Aurelia first. Alright, so let's get to it. Let's see what the hell am I going to take out. That's always the tough part. Where's Kaervek? That's Ikrashidiki. That's Kaervek. Good. They're in alphabetical order. Alright, move this back a bit. So Kaervek, he is my standoff damage deck. Let me put him so you can see him. And I've had him for a long time. These are KMC Super Blacks. They're they're pretty scratched up from shuffling, but they're still intact and perfectly serviceable. So Kaervek, I've had him. He's one of my, not my oldest decks, but I've had Kaervek for at least minimum 6 years, and he's just fucking hilarious to play. He cost a lot, 7 for a 5, 1 black, 1 red, 7 mana for a 5/4 human shaman. And Wizards, in their infinite stupidity, has decreed that they will no longer be using shaman as a creature type for reasons. Bullshit reasons. Reasons they did not articulate very well, so fuck them. Anyway, whenever an opponent plays a spell, Kaervek hurts them real bad. So I get to do damage equal to the CMC of the spell to creature or player, or planeswalker, because remember the old rules for planeswalkers were you couldn't attack them directly. What you would do is you would target your opponent and slide the damage off onto the planeswalker. That's the way it worked. Now you can hit planeswalkers directly. It says target player, creature, or planeswalker. So that would be his new wording. Keep in mind that when they do play the spell, he does the damage before it resolves. So if they play a creature you really want to kill, you can't kill it with the damage you're inflicting from that creature's converted mana cost. For example, if somebody's playing a Trash Master against me, I get to do 4 points of damage to whatever I want. I do that, then Trash Master resolves. And I'm going to be like, oh, I need to kill that son of a bitch. So, well, that's not good. Is he visible there? Not really. Kind of. Okay, anyway. I think I know what I'm going to take out, but let's just make sure. Okay, Beacon of Unrest. I'm just going to go over the highlight cards. I'm not going to touch his mana base. I'm not going to touch his mana rocks. The way I built Kaervek is, I know he's going to die, and I built him in such a way that it's not uncommon for me to have him out on turn 4. That he's got that many fucking mana rocks. So he's only 5/4. Unless I give him Darksteel Plate, somebody's going to kill him at some point. So I need to think of how to get him back, how to recast him. Hence all the mana rocks, because 7 the first time, then 9, then 11, then fucking 13. Are you kidding me? 13 mana to cast this bastard. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Beacon of Rest. 3 black, sorcery. Put target artifact or creature card in any graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And then you shuffle it back in. I better keep that. Swamp. Yeah, I better keep a swamp. Basilisk Collar. You know what? I was thinking about this. So, Korvold has a Mayhem Devil. And I equipped Mayhem Devil with Basilisk Collar because I had nothing else to do at that stage of the game. And it wasn't until Cube sacrificed one of his squirrels And I said, you sacrifice a creature. He's like, yeah. No, it was a treasure token. He sacrificed treasure token. And I said, I'm going to do point of damage to... Oh, shit. Mayhem Devil is Basilisk Collar, and I can do point of damage, and it has Death Touch. And Cube's like, oh. Yeah. Oh, shit. So I killed something. So Mayhem Devil would work out pretty good in Kaervek because he has a lot of sacrifice too. Mana base, better keep that. Dockside Extortionist is banned for the moment. I have every faith that he will return to the fray. He will get unbanned. They'll call him a game changer. So if you play him, you're bracket 4 or 3. Depending on how many game changers. If you have 3 game changers, bracket 3. More than that, you're up to 4. You're playing in the big leagues. And you're going to get hurt real bad if you don't hurt somebody else real bad first. So this guy gives me treasure tokens and doubles them, which feeds into Kaervek. Beetleback Chief. Well, if I'm putting in Trash Master, I really don't want to get rid of any goblins, especially a goblin that brings in more goblins. So that has to stay. This is something new. I was watching Trinket Mage, and Trinket Mage was doing a video on cheap mana rocks, as in financially inexpensive. And he touched on this, and I looked it up on Churny Retige, my LGS, and it was pretty fucking cheap, like 50 crowns, 2 euros. So 3 to cast it, 3 to kick it. It's basically a dark steel ingot. And if you kick it, you get 2 more dark steel ingots. So that's really good in Kaervek. Toxic Deluge. Sometimes I need to kill a lot of things. Massacre Worm. Sometimes you need to... If I put the Mayhem Devil in here because I have the collar and I start killing things, the Massacre Worm gets even better. So better keep that. Hammerheim. Oh, I love this art. Brian Wackowitz. Wackwitz. I always want to say Brian Wackowitz. Red, remove all land walking ability, but it's just Legends. The old art is just beautiful. Some of it's shit. Justin Hampton, I fucking hate his art. I can't stand it. There's only one card he's done that I actually like. I forget what it does. It's a green card. But his giant strength, I can't stand his Fyndhorn Elves. I didn't play Fyndhorn Elves for years until they reprinted it in FTV 20 with cool art. Then I started playing the Fyndhorn Elves, because before, with only Justin Hampton's art available, I didn't want to look at that shit. Perforos got to Schmied. If I'm bringing in creatures and he's a standoff deck, then I want to keep things that do standoff damage. Snow-covered mountain, shattering pulse, blow up an artifact. Trash Master, in a way, can slot in for Shattering Pulse, but Shattering Pulse is an instant. He's a creature, so he can get killed. In this, if I have the 5 mana, I can buy it back and have it again. Let me see what else I have. I already talked about goblins. If I'm putting in Trash Master, I kind of want to keep goblins to sacrifice. Smoldering Marsh, Snow. Voltaic Heed. This is to untap any of my mana rocks that produce more than 1 mana. I think I've got a Gilded Lotus in here. Oh, it'll work on the ingots. No, it only produces 1. It won't work. It'll work, but it's going to be a waste of time. Unless I need, let's say I've got 2 black available and 1 red, and I need another red. Sorry, let's say I've got 3 black available. Fuck it. It's late. Imperial Recruiter. 2 in a red for a 1/1 human advisor. When he comes into play, go look for a creature card of power 2 or less, usually Kiki-Jiki. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. He's my Kiki-Jiki finder. Talisman to gonna shoot. So Talisman of Indulgence, and Kaervek has a lot of German cards. Oh man, I should have got a German trash. What would Goblin Trashmaster be in Deutsch? Oh, I bet it'd be funny. Fuck. Now I want to go back on MKM and see if I can find a German Trashmaster in foil. Because that would be hilarious. So anyway, gives you one colorless. If you get a black or red out of it instead, you take a bunch of damage for it. This guy is fucking hilarious. Nobody expects red to have this. Nobody. Unless they played with him before, or I played Kaervek in the last couple weeks. 1 in a red. 2/2. Echo. 3 in a red. When he comes to play, bounce a creature an opponent controls back to its owner's hand. That's pretty blue. This guy, he comes down, bounces a creature, like, you're playing a black-red deck. How did you do that? Sting Scourger, baby. Sting Scourger. And then usually I sacrifice him to either Phyrexian Tower or Goblin Bombardment. But now, Trashmaster can sacrifice him too. Trashmaster can pick his ass up and throw him at a Mana Rock. Grave Titan. He's just nice in this deck. Gives me more creatures to sacrifice. It gives me more creatures to block with. He's Death Touch, so... The deck does not have a lot of zombies. She is a zombie, Spirit. 2 black for a 3/3. Beginning of your upkeep, you draw X cards and lose X life, where that's the number of zombies you control. So if I only have her in play, she's basically a 4 mana 3/3 Phyrexian Arena. She's nice. Inferno Titan. He's why the Basilisk Collar is in here. 4 red 6/6 giant. He's got fire breathing, but I only use that only once, and it killed somebody. So yeah, it's nice it's there, but I always forget about it because I don't use it. Whenever it comes into player attacks, deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures and or players. So if he has the collar, which is why the collar is in here, is because of him, or Kaervek, actually, now that I think about it. Sometimes I get so focused on the little combos that I forget they have more applications. So I've used Basilisk Collar and Nekazar to get me life. I give it to Nekazar more often than not. Kaervek, it's just the way it worked out. Usually, if I have him in play, I often don't have the collar. It seems that the collar comes out around the time this guy does. And then I equip him, so when he attacks, I can kill 3 creatures, because he'll have Death Touch. Dragon Skull Summons. Helm of Possession. Another reason to have creatures to sacrifice. 4. 2. Sacrifice a creature. Gain control of it. Gain control of another creature, target creature, for as long as you control the helm and it remains tapped. And I don't have to untap it during my untap step. That's worked out really well in this deck. What else? Terror of the Peaks. Standoff damage. Excuse me. 3 red 5/4 flyer. Spells your opponent's cast and target this dude, costs an additional 3 life to cast. Whenever another creature enters battlefield under my control, heal deals damage. Give him the collar too. Basilisk Collar. It's got a lot more targets than I really thought of in this deck. I haven't played Kaervek for a while. Kaervek is one of those decks that I love it. I love all my decks, but he's like my old fighter. I've had him for a long time. When I bring him out, I know I'm going to have a good time, and I kind of keep him on the back burner, keep him on the bench, because I don't tune him very often. So usually the decks I take with me on the Thursday night EDH events are decks I've tuned recently to see how they work, see how they go. And lately I've been tuning a lot of decks, building a lot of decks. Torque part Tatiova, she's not going to become something else. There's only 2 cards that I'm using from her in this other deck I'm building. But now that I'm making a change to Kaervek, he has bumped up in the queue, and I'll probably take him to the next Thursday night event. So anyway, whenever another creature comes into play into my control, he deals damage equal to the creature's power to any target. It becomes terrifying. Grim Monolith. This is the only copy of Grim Monolith I have. It's German and signed, so it's kind of special to me. 2 mana to cast. Tap it, you get 3 mana, but you have to spend 4 to untap it. This is the reason for the Voltaic Key. Well, one of the reasons. Goblin Bombardment. Sack creature, does 1 damage target creature player. Urborg, Grasful Yog. So, in German, the name Yawgmoth. In the French version, and I have one, I don't have it handy, they changed Yawgmoth to Yogg-Zibuul. I don't know why. Maybe one of you guys that knows more French than I do can tell me why did they do that. Skull Clamp. Yeah, it's not sacrifice, but I can start clamping goblins and drawing cards. So that's part of his card draw suite. Sword aus Licht und Schatten. Sword of Light and Shadow. 3 to cast, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+2, protection from black and white. When the creature deals combat damage to a player, I get to raise dead and healing self myself, gain 3 life. So this mitigates the life loss from the things that cost me life, and it lets me get my creatures back when they die. Swamp. You might wonder why I have the snow cover. I have 1 card. 1 card to justify all the snow covered lands. Blood Crypt, Sumpf, Gebirge, Command Beacon. So I don't have too many of these because most of my commanders don't cost that much to cast. And I'm just not that worried about them dying. Him no, because he costs. I think he's my most expensive commander to cast. So Command Beacon, sacrifice it. Put your commander into your hand. So if he gets up to like 11, 13, yeah, Command Beacon. Bring his ass to my hand so I can cast him again for 7. Erebos, God of the Dead, 3 in a black, indestructible. Mainly your opponents can't gain life. That's the real reason he's in here, but I have used that pay 2 life draw card quite often. He's just nice. Siege Gang Commander. 3 red. Comes to play with 3 1/1 buddies. 1 in a red, sack a goblin, does 2 damage to target creature or player. Gratuitous Violence. Do I want to keep... So, 2 triple red. If a creature you control deals damage to creature or player, it deals double the damage to the creature. I could put City on Fire in here. City on Fire costs, I think, 2 more. I think it costs 7 or 8. It's expensive to cast. But it has Convoke. I believe it has Convoke. And it deals triple damage from red sources. Gratuitous Violence. Because I own an original foil one. And he's a creature. So when he deals damage, it deals double damage. So that's pretty good. Phyrexian. Do I want to keep the Phyrexian Purge? 2 black-red, at sorcery speed, pay 3 life per target, kill any number of target creatures. So for 4 mana in life, you get to take out whatever is really bothering you, as long as it's not hexproof or indestructible. Mog Infestation. I can't believe that... Okay, 3 red for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures target player controls. For each creature put into any graveyard this way, you get 2 goblin tokens. treat them as one red creatures. The creature's controller gets them. So, you ever have a card where you know what it does, and you talk about it, and somebody tells you that's not the way the card works, and you're in your head, you're thinking, I know what that card does. I've played with it for years. I remember when it came out. I remember opening those packs, and then you read the card again, and you're like, oh, they're right. It got into my head that target player sacrifices all creatures they control. And then they put 2 1/1 red goblins into play for each of the creatures they sacrifice. That got into my head. And the reason it came up is I was talking about it on one of my other videos, and I said, sometimes I use Mog Infestation. I don't think I ever have. But it's an option. I don't think I've ever actually done it. If I have Pervos in play, and let's say I have 10 creatures, and I Mog Infestation myself, my 10 creatures become 20, and Kaervek does 40 points of damage to all of my opponents. But I was talking about it, and I said I wouldn't do this if Kaervek was active because I don't want to sacrifice him. And somebody said, he's indestructible. What the fuck are you talking about? And then I reread the card and said, oh yeah, I don't sacrifice. It's destroy. So it doesn't matter if Kaervek or Perforos. I should get the names right. It doesn't matter if Perforos is active or not. He's indestructible. This is destroy, so that will work. Bloodstained Mire, Deutsch, Ancient Tomb, take 2 colorless mana, hurt yourself a little bit, Lightning Greaves for Kaervek mainly, so he can't be targeted. Vampire Sex Mage, she's a Planeswalker killer. I should put one of her in Korvold. I didn't have any extra, and I forgot about her when I was building Korvold. She sacrifices herself, so I can sacrifice her, kill a Planeswalker, Korvold gets bigger, and I get to draw a card. I should put one of them, yeah, Does anybody really play? Long Pete doesn't really play any Planeswalkers. Cube does. The Genie does. Roman, I don't think he does. Do I need her in the deck? Well, I'll put her up there. Sulphur Springs, Jeff Maricola 5th edition. Manic Vandal. Maybe I should replace him with the Trash Master, so he comes into play, and I can destroy a target artifact. Trash Master costs 1 more, and he's 1/1 bigger. Sacrifice a Goblin, destroy a target artifact. So if I really need to blow it up, I could play him, sacrifice him to do it. I love the quote. It's fun. He doesn't need another reason. Maybe that's what I'll take out. Darksteel Plate, indestructible. Equip creatures indestructible. One time, one game, I had... camera's about to shut. Hang on. Okay, we're in for part 2, but you won't know it because, well, I said it, so now you know it. But if I hadn't said it, you would know it because I'm just splicing these together. So anyway, I had Kaervek with Darksteel Plate. He was indestructible. This is indestructible. And my opponents could not deal with it. They were not drawing anything that could deal with it. And I was doing a lot of damage. I was in full control of the game. And I kind of started feeling bad. I'm like, you guys don't have no Path to Exile, no Swords to Plowshares, anything that would exile a creature anything that would exile an equipment, an artifact. No. So I won that game. But when I don't like to lose. I really don't. But if I get in a position where I am dominating the game, I am stomping the shit out of it, I don't like that either. Because I feel bad, because these are my friends. And they're not having fun, they're not enjoying the game. That said, I do make my decks as good as I can, but I put in funny things. Like I'm sure Sting Scourger, I'm sure there's better things I could be doing in this deck. Manic Vandal. I'm sure there's better things, well, Trashmaster, better things I could be doing in this deck. So let's get Burnish Heart. I was only going to talk about the really interesting cards. Here I am doing a full-on bracket review. He's at least bracket 3. All my decks are bracket 3. So here I am doing a full-on deck review, and I was just going to quickly go through the really interesting cards, put the Trashmaster in, and go to bed, because it's late, and here I am. And now I'm stalling even more by talking about it. Anyway, Burnish Heart. He helps find my lands, 3 sack him. He's a 2/2 elk. Go find 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. And then if you have Micaeus the Unhallowed out, he comes back as a 3/3. 3 triple black. Yeah, this is years ago. Magic, what is it? MTGO. Magic the Gathering Online. So if you collected a full set of any set on MTGO, you could trade those in, they would disappear from your collection, and Wizards would send you either a flat set or a foil set depending on what you collected. So years ago I bought a full foil set of Innistrad, a full foil set of Dark Ascension, thinking I would save them for future value. 6 months went by and I broke them up so I could put them into the decks. Some of them I sold. Like I sold my foil Snapcaster Mage, because I was in a bit of a money crunch at one time. Sold the foil Liliana of the Veil. But their prices have come down a lot, so I could get them back, except I only play Snapcaster Mage in my vintage decks, so I don't need him for Commander. I only play Liliana of the Veil in my vintage decks, so I don't need her for Commander. So as much as I would like to have a foil of those cards, I really have no pressure to do so, because the main format I play, I wouldn't use them. So anyway, he's intimidating. He's a 5/5 zombie cleric. Whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. He's great against Grayson's Darn. Fucking Grayson's Darn is a human. So if the guy playing Grayson's Darn does damage to you, if he hurts you, Micaeus kills Grayson's Darn. And other non-human creatures you all get +1/+1 and have dying. Shaldun, the One-Eyed. 2 black for 3/2 Horse Rider. You can just sacrifice him. This is another card I should have in Core Vault. But I'm not doing Sacrifice Core Vault. He's Attack Core Vault, and he's real fucking effective. He's real good at it. Oh my god. Go look at my deck list for Core Vault. Go look at one of my videos for Core Vault. I'm really, really happy with the way he turned out. It took some tuning, but he smashes people in the red zone. So this guy, sacrifice him during your first main phase, and then basically he dies, and you bring any black card from your graveyard to your hand, so only black cards. Activate this ability only during your turn before, so your first main phase. Fulminator Mage. Yeah, when I had the Sacrifice Core Vault, he not this one, but I had a copy of Full Midnighter Mage in Corvold. 1, 2 black, 2 red hybrid, 2/2 elemental shaman, which I'm not going to use anymore. Sack him, destroy target non-basic land. So he's here to deal with opposing coffers. None of my mates play Cradle. They can play Counterfeit Cradle, I don't give a shit. They can write Cradle on a Sharpie and put it in their deck, I don't care. But they just don't. They just don't want to. Fair enough. There he is. Kinky Jiki Merryburger. 2 triple red, 2/2 hasty goblin shaman. I've got a lot of shamans in this deck. Huh. So tap him, put a token in play. That's a copy of target non-legendary creature control. So you can't do any legendary they see each other shenanigans. He will not copy legendary creature. He says, fuck that. That guy's legendary. He's my friend. I ain't touching him. Fuck off. Token is haste. Sack at the beginning of the next end step. This is a German Cabal Coffers from Modern Horizons 2. Kabbalisten Schatzkammern. You spend 2, tap it, and you get 1 black for all your swamps. Cabal Coffers. Cemetery Reaper. I don't have a lot of zombies in the deck, but some of the ones I have can make more. 1 black for a 2/2 zombie. Other zombies I control get +1/+1. 2 in a black. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield under your control. Living death. 3 black. Everybody takes all the creatures they have in play. Puts them over there. They take all the creatures out of the graveyard. Put them into play. All the creatures that they put over there die. You just trade your dead creatures for your live ones. Easy as pie. Murder's Redcap, Goblin Assassin. I realized if I have, and I haven't done this, I've not actually done this, I just realized it is possible. It is a line of play that's open to me. If I have Goblin Bombardment, Micaeus, and I get this guy, I have an instant combo, death combo. He comes into play. Deals damage equal to his power to target creature player. He does 2 damage. He's got Persist. But because of Micaeus, he isn't dying. So if I sack him to Goblin Bombardment, do 1 point of damage to something, the 2 triggers go off. Actually no, I think the triggers, I have to choose one. I think I have to choose a trigger. I know this still works, but I'm not explaining it properly. So he dies to Goblin Bombardment. Sacrifice him, do a point of damage. Persist triggers. He comes back into play, does 1 point of damage. I sacrifice him to Goblin Bombardment, do 1 point of damage, and then the Undying trigger and the Persist trigger, I stack them, so the Undying trigger is the one that he gets, so he comes back as a 3/3, does 3 points of damage. And then I sacrifice him to Bombardment, and then I do the Persist trigger, so I just switch the triggers, which one will resolve, which one will actually take effect. So I'm either doing 3 damage or 1 damage. In the end, it's over the period of time, mathematically, it averages out to still 2 points of damage every time he comes back into play. So that's, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I love this guy in this deck. He's hilarious. I mean, it's a foil one. But knowing I have this infinite instant kill the table combo, of course I have to get a 4-mana creature, a 6-mana creature, and a 2-mana enchantment on the board at the same time, and none of them die. If I try to play them all at the same time, that's 12 mana. That's a lot of mana. And I have to draw them. I can't find them. I I can find the red cap with Imperial Recruiter, but I don't think I have anything in here that'll find Macias. And I don't have anything in here that will find Goblin Bombardment. I did not put Demonic Tutor in this deck because of Shadun. Because the obvious line of play is a Demonic Tutor for something. And then I sacrifice Shadun during my first main phase to get the tutor back. So I can just keep finding exactly what I need. And I don't want that. I did not want that at all. And the lads I play with are clever enough, if they saw that line of play possible, and I wasn't doing it, they would think I'm fucking with them. So I just didn't put in any unrestricted tutors. So here's who I was actually thinking of taking out. They cost the same. CMC. Black, black, red, red. 4. 2 red, red, 4. But he's a 5/5 flying trampler. He's only a 3/3 that pumps my goblins and can throw them at artifacts. Sacrifice 3 of the creatures. You may put a creature card from hand onto the battlefield only once per turn, only as a sorcery. The main reason he's in here, not just because he's a fucking 4-mana 5/5 flying trampler, which is pretty good. 5 years ago. It's kind of shitty now, and nobody plays him anywhere. The idea with him is Kaervek dies, I get him back with Aura Stronghold, I get him back with sort of like, I get him back somehow to my hand. Instead of paying 7, I can just sack 3 creatures, and he'll just drop them into play. Which is another reason to have the Mayhem Devil. Expedition map. Typically this will find, if I have Urborg, it finds coffers. If I have coffers, it finds Urborg. It finds the other half. Kolrath Rita. Kolrath Knight. If you've never played with this guy, and you've got friends that play decks where they put a lot of counters on their creatures, get one of these guys. Flat, they're financially worthless. It's like 10 euro cents. Foil, they're about 2 or 3 euro maybe. But what he does, so 3 red, red, black, black hybrid, 3/3 flyer. With Wither. So, yeah. But creatures your opponents control with counters on them cannot attack or block. So if they've got a bunch of creatures and they put counters on them, they can't do anything. The other thing you could do is, if you build a deck with black and red, you could of course put in Kolrath Knight and have ways of putting counters on your opponent. Toxrill the Corrosive. If you have Toxrill the Corrosive in this guy, when all your opponent's creatures get those neg1 counters, they can no longer attack or block. They're just slowly going to die. Something to think about. Blood Artist is black-red. Creatures die all the time, and I want to profit from it. Rocky Tar Pit. Wizards, if you're listening, finish this fucking cycle. Finish it. This Mirage fetch line. I want it for Commander. I don't know about you listening to me. Maybe you want it too. If you don't, change your mind. Start wanting it. So it comes into play tapped. Sacrifice it. Go find a Swamp or Mountain card. Put it in play. So this it is a fetch land. Instead of paying life, it comes into play tapped. But it is a fetch land. It can find triomes, it can find shock lands, it can find dual lands, it can find all that bullshit. But they only have them in the allied colors. They never did the enemy color cycle. Fucking wizards. Withered Wretch. I need some kind of graveyard control. Yeah, I've got the zombie that can rip creatures out of people's graveyards and turn them into zombies under my control. But sometimes there's artifacts, sorcery, there's other bullshit that I need to get rid of. This guy, black for 2/2 zombie cleric. 1, just spend 1, remove target card in graveyard. So if somebody's going to resurrect a creature. You can just spend one and get rid of the one they're targeting. Kind of ruins their day. Dual Caster Mage. 1 red for a 2/2 flashy human wizard. When it comes to play, copy target instant or sorcery. You may choose new targets for the copy if it's in your advantage to do so. Cryptcast. I was really happy when they printed these without the reminder text, because it's jarring, even though it's just reminder text. The reminder text tells you what Extort does, and it has a black-white hybrid mana symbol. So you have this black card with a hybrid black-white mana symbol. And even though it is not game text and does not change the color identity of the card, it creates a little bit of dissonance. And some players that don't know that or recognize that, they'll stop and say, hey, you can't play that. Look, it's got a black-white symbol on it, and this is a black-red deck. You can't play that. And then you have this whole conversation. In the end, they understand. I mean, it's a very easy conversation to have, but it slows the game down, and it's a distraction. So I was happy when they did Cryptcast without the reminder text. Anyway, 3 and a black for a 2/2 spirit with Extort. And when you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional. Rakdos Charm. Black-red. Choose 1. Exile all cards from target. When did I do that? Oh yeah. We've got this guy. He only comes like once every 6 months. He threatens to come a lot more often, but shit comes up and he just doesn't come. But when he does, he has Muldrotha. And I was telling him about my Muldrotha and how I protect my graveyard, and he didn't take my advice for a long time. One time he's playing Muldrotha, I'm playing Kaervek, and he's got his graveyard packed, and he's ready to go off, and I do black-red, exile all cards from your graveyard. He's like, no, fuck, no, god damn it, no, why? I said, I told you. I told you over and over again. She's got blue. Protect your graveyard. Start doing it. So the next time he showed up, he had at least something like Trick Bind, and I think a Disallow. You know, he finally took my fucking advice. Or you can destroy an artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. So if somebody's playing a lot of tokens, this can hurt them. Swamp. Mask of Grisselbrand. Kaervek used to have a memory jar, but I wanted that memory jar more when I rebuilt Nekazar. So Nekazar got the jar, and I was trying to figure out some way of compensating for the loss of card draw. And I had one of these, and I thought, let's see how it works. I have not had it in play, so I don't know if it's going to work as well as I think it will, which not as good as memory jar, but good enough. So 1 black, equip 3. Equip creature has flying and lifelink. The lifelink, though, that helps. I mean, you saw the shit that I spend life on, so that helps compensate. Whenever the equipped creature dies, you may pay X life or X is its power. If you do, draw X card. So it turns into Grisselbrand. Kokusho, the Evening Star. 4 black, 5/5 Dragon Spirit. When she dies, everybody loses 5 life that is not you, and you gain life equal to the life loss this way. So if there was 3 opponents, they're each taking 5, and you're gaining 15, which compensates for Phyrexian Purge. There it is. This is the 1 card that I have all the snow-covered lands for. Board wipe. 4 black, blood on the snow. It's a snow sorcery. I never read that part. I probably did. It didn't go into my head. I didn't think about it. That's kind of cool. A snow sorcery. Choose 1. Blow up all the creatures or blow up all the planeswalkers. Then bring a creature or planeswalker with CMC X or less from a graveyard to the battlefield, where they have the amount of snow mana spent to cast him. So obviously, since I cannot spend more than 6, he will not bring Kaervek back. But he'll bring Kakusho back. He'll bring Kiki-Jiki back. He'll bring Mikaeus the Unhallowed back. Yeah. Fucking Wrath Noble. So fucking Wrath Noble, 3 and a black for a 2/2. He's a 2/2 flying blood artist. That's what he is. He costs 2 more colorless mana, and for that you get another 2 points of power, 1 point of toughness, and flying. He's a fucking blood artist. In the sky. Graven Cards. I did a video. Maybe some of you saw it. I did a video where I talked about buyouts. What would it take to buy out a card? And I hit on Graven Karn because until recently they had not reprinted this art, and I didn't think they would. And even so, when they did, it was not in this frame. So I'm looking at the foil Graven Karns, and there were only about 10 of them on Magic Card Market. Maybe 12. There were not that many. And I thought, I went through the whole mental exercise of what is a buyout, why you would do it, what card you would choose, and what you would hope to get out of it. So these being about 30 euros each, you need, including shipping and everything, about 400 euros to buy out all the foil Future Sight Graven Cards. But then, if the price, even if the price goes up, because you bought them all out, or you bought them all out except 2, so there's still 2, but there would be the 50 euro ones, and those guys would probably raise their prices. And then if you went and relisted a couple, would it really be worth your time? I mean, how often do people buy these? Probably not that often. Snowcover Mountain, Arcane Signet, Balthor the Defiled. So, something I always think about is how to recover. If I've got a deck that is going to be filling its graveyard one way or another, either by sacrificing creatures, or them dying, I always think, okay, how do I get these creatures back? How do I deal with getting my graveyard exiled? And if there's a way to do it that fits the deck, I'll put it in as part of the deck. Maybe he would be good in Corval too. Anyway, 2 black for a 2/2 Zombie Dwarf Legendary Zombie Dwarf. All minions get, I don't have any other fucking minions in the deck, I don't think. I haven't seen any yet. But the idea is, I would play him, he would just sit there looking cool, chilling out, remembering just enough of his life to weep for what he's lost, and if somebody goes to exile my graveyard, bang, 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 spend 3 black, exile Balthor, and bring all my black and red creatures back into play from the graveyard. Now, for that to be useful, to keep, justify keeping the mana open, there's got to be some good creatures in there, but it is a potential line of play. Command Tower. Yeah, these sleeves, they don't slide smooth anymore because they're all scratched up. The finish is no longer slick. Of course, what that means is when I have them stacked up, it doesn't fall over. You ever get that with new sleeves, where they're like that, and your deck just falls to the deck. Your deck falls to the deck. Goblin Welder. Mainly he was in here because of Memory Jar. So one red for a 1/1 Goblin. Exchange target artifact or player controls for an artifact in that player's graveyard. The idea with him was I can always get the Memory Jar back. Or, if somebody has, say, they sacrificed a Burnished Heart, and then they play a Coat of Arms, I can just go, dink, your Coat of Arms has become a burnished heart. Sorry. Loaded. I'm not saying that right. Fuck it. 5 mana for this artifact that you tap it if it produces 3 mana of any one color. So, again, it's part of the suite of rocks that are supposed to help me cast and then recast Kaervek, the Merciless Blunder's Enclave. His power is greater than 4. It just seemed like a cheap way, an easy way of drawing more cards. So, at the end of the turn of the opponent preceding me, if I've got nothing better to do, I can spend 3 and draw a card. If I have a creature with power 4 or greater. And there's a lot of them in this deck. Solemn Simulacrum. I think we all know what he does. He comes into play. He's a 2/2. You go find a land, put in play tap, basic land, put in play tap, he dies during it. This is the one that, so Ricardo, when he was in a money crunch, he sold me his deck. And it included a foil Solemn Simulacrum. And he immediately regretted it, because he loves foils as much as I do. And once he solved his money crunch, every week he would bother me. Are you going to sell me my Solemn Simulacrum back? Ricardo, you sold it to me. It's mine now. No. Next week. Are you going to sell me my Solemn Simulacrum back? Ricardo. And finally, okay, fine. I'll sell it to you. So I sold it back to him. And bought my own. So that one's mine. It's not Ricardo's. Ricardo, I hope he still has his. I haven't seen him for a long time. I think he went back to Costa Rica. Molten Slag Heap, so I can store mana on it. 1 tap, put a storage counter on it. 1 tap, remove X storage counters. Add X mana of any combination black or red to your mana pool. So ideally, I get this down early in the game, and every turn I just spend mana and load it up. So when I need to recast him, it helps. Goblin Sharpshooter, this is the main reason. I forgot he was in the deck. It's been a long time since I looked through it. He is the main reason for the Basilisk Collar. 2 and red for a 1/1 Goblin. He won't untap during your untap step. You can tap him to do 1 point of damage, but he won't tap during your untap step. But if a creature dies, you can untap him. So if you give him the collar, you just go tap 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 and tap 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 tap, and you kill all the creatures that are not yours. Pretty fun. Temple of the False God, yeah, 2 colorless mana. Volras Felsenberg, Volra Stronghold, 1 and a colorless, 1 black and colorless tap. Bring a creature from a graveyard back to the top of your library. So it chokes your draw, but it makes sure you get a creature back. Sonnenring, actually. Sonnenring. In German, S is pronounced like Z. 1, yeah, everybody knows what a fucking Sonnenring is. I don't need to explain that. So let's just put these lands over here. I'll talk about the last 2 cards, then I can go to bed. Coffin Queen. She is a zombie now. She's been errated. 2 and a black for a 1/1 zombie wizard. You don't have to untap her during your untap phase if you don't want to. 2 and a black. Tap. Put target creature card from any graveyard into play under your control. Exile it if you lose control of her or if she becomes untapped. So if you suspect your opponent's going to wipe the board, you can untap her. And there goes the... Okay. So if you suspect your opponent's going to wipe the board soon, and the faces are right, during your untap step you can untap her and exile the creature that she snatched. And then you can tap her and snatch something else. So in one way, you can use her as graveyard control. If your opponent puts something nasty in the... That's a better example. That's a far better example. So let's say your opponent puts something nasty in the graveyard that you know they're going to resurrect. They're going to reanimate. They're going to animate it. They're going to get it back. And you don't want them to. So you can snatch it with her, and then on your turn you can untap her and that creature's exiled. Blood. Exquisite blood. That's just, that's pretty kinky. Isn't it? He's just sucking on her neck, sniffing her hair. He's like the Joe Biden of vampires. 4 and a black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent loses life, you can... I will not run Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood together. I mean, I already went over the Murderous Redcap combo, which I didn't realize until a few weeks ago when I was going through the deck. But Sanguine Bond, and it's just too easy, especially in a deck like this, and I don't want it to be that easy. At least Redcap. The Redcap Bombardment Mikaeus combo. It's 3 cards. It's not it's not really easy to put together if you don't have any way to search for the cards. Now, if I do put Sanguine Bond in this deck, since I cannot search for either of them at all, because I do not have any way of searching for an enchantment in this deck, maybe that'd be fair, but I still don't want to do it. I just don't. So, a cool. I thought I would take out a cool, but really, this guy is, and it's really nice when I get a card for a deck, and it's pretty much a 1-for-1 upgrade of another card, so I don't have to really think that hard about what to take out. If this guy wasn't, I'd be like, okay, do I take out a cool? Do I take out the heck? What the hell do I take out? So this guy, I'll take his sleeve off later. He's going in the ARP. I'm not getting rid of him. For one, he's not worth it financially. For another, I just love that. It's fun. He doesn't need another reason. Fucking barbarian smashing this wizard's laboratory. Alright. So, I'm losing a 3-mana creature with an Enter the Battlefield ability, trading him for a 4-mana creature that requires a sacrifice. So, one thing I am losing is that the Manic Vandal, with Kiki Jiki, I could copy him and instantly destroy another artifact. Of course, with the Trashmaster, if I have Kiki Jiki, I can make a copy of Trashmaster and sacrifice that to blow up the artifact. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, something like that. Anyway, this here, I really need to get a Mayhem. Tomorrow, I'll go to Cherny Retige, the website, and I'll see if they have any Mayhem Devils for sale. I already have a flat one, so I should get a foil one for Kaervek. Ooh, I should get a German Mayhem Devil for Kaervek.